Good day, everybody, and welcome to Huggins House of Financial History. I wanted to record a couple of brief videos to give you a basic introduction to the course so that you have the tools to appreciate what it is that we're hoping to accomplish by studying financial history. I found that typically many history courses and even books, presenters have a hard time providing a context in which their information that they provide is useful or actionable for people living in the 21st century. And so drawing from that experience, what I hope to do in this course is not only provide you with a good idea about how deep the history of finance actually is and the various types of structures that we've attempted to organize in the past in order to coordinate the flow of resources, but also I hope to create a bridge that allows you to start thinking about ways that we can improve on the existing suite of financial technologies we have by referencing some of the things we've done in the past, and most importantly, understanding why we've done these things in the past. So this is my rather, how shall we say, lofty goal for this course. And I hope that you'll be willing to follow along with me for the next 13 weeks as we explore the history of finance, or as Goetzman says, how finance made civilization possible. Now, simply put, finance is about coordinating things of value, generally resources, across time and space towards some common purpose. For simplicity, what we'll do is we'll call all of this various sorts of stuff, physical tools, human labor, financial obligations, social influence, education, etc. All of that we're going to put under the category of capital, things which are of value, which might be of value either to ourselves or to others. Now, of course, anyone who has studied economics is vaguely familiar with the idea of how it is that people make trade-offs related to their resources. But what finance studies in particular are the structure of the tools that get used for this economic optimization. And so, the proposition which underlays this course is that the systems that we use for conducting this coordination activity have an incredible potential to create great value for society, provided that they are well designed and administered. And it's my goal to convince you of this through the use of a historical narrative to help you understand some of the issues that we face in the modern world and how we can confront these using properly designed financial institutions. So this course is really not about how to issue a bond or how to build a stock portfolio. It's much more about why finance works the way it does. It's important to remember that the tools and institutions that we have for reallocating capital in the modern world are not optimized to deal with today's problems, let alone tomorrow's problems. Instead, what we have today in terms of financial technologies are collections of solutions to past problems. These tools have evolved in some cases for thousands of years, depending on the locations in which they developed and the time in which they developed and what other financial and economic tools were available to people at those times. And so by looking back on what people have done to try to coordinate effort, we're going to necessarily intersect with other topics like sociology, religion, political science, and we're going to use all of these to try to understand what the goals and aspirations of people were when they structured these financial tools to operate in the way that they did. If we understand how financial organizations are structured and what kinds of objectives we might be trying to accomplish with them, then we can really start to consider how to make things better and improve on our banking system, improve on our stock markets and our pension systems. It allows us to help avoid repeating errors that people have gone through in the past already, and it provides us tools for customizing these general principles of things like banking or corporations to provide more customized solutions to various groups of people around the world who may have specific kinds of needs. So, in order to get you up to speed with this, throughout the course, we'll be reading a very accessible book on this topic, Money Changes Everything, How Finance Makes Civilization Possible by Yale financial professor and archaeologist and art historian, William Goetzman. In addition, we'll be working through three case studies related to some of the earlier topics in the course, and there'll additionally be a research project associated with this where you will try to identify where the cutting edge is in a number of these different kinds of organizations and technologies. In general, the learning experience in this course does not require you to memorize dates, names, times, or even mathematical techniques. The purpose of this course is to help you think broadly and to develop opinions about how we might try to solve these sorts of issues in the future. So to that extent, you're expected to actually collaborate with others and explore complex ideas and trade-offs rather than simply working alone to learn how to calculate a particular mathematical coefficient. So each week, what we'll be doing is exploring a different kind of tool or organization that we use to assist in this reallocation of capital. We're going to consider its development throughout history up to the modern day, and we'll think about how changes in the design of that institution have been affected over time to account for the objectives and the constraints that various peoples have had to operate under. Now, this of course means that we'll be looking at financial history, not just in one particular area, but around the world. The history of finance is the history of humanity. We're not really looking at the history of finance in England or in Canada or in China or in Russia or in Namibia, rather than trying to shackle our history of technology to a particular piece of geography. I feel it's important for us to look around the world to see the full range of variation that gets expressed when people try to put their own spin on various kinds of technologies. So if we really want to get the most out of a study of financial history, we not only need to study our own history, whatever that might be, but we do need to study the history of others. And so you'll notice throughout the course that we discuss a number of different countries. We of course discuss Canada in detail, but we also discuss England, we discuss Italy, we discuss China, India, and a number of other important countries around the world to see what types of innovations emerged in these various parts of the world at various times. So for each week, what we'll be doing is reading selections from the Goatsman textbook. I'll have some videos prepared for you each week to further support the discussions, and there'll be some regular classwork that you're expected to keep up with, some of it individual and some of it group work. Without any further ado, once again, welcome to the House of Financial History, and I look forward to sharing some of this knowledge with you over the coming weeks.